Dang it! You're watching Muscle Sport Magazine.
Look what I'm reading. Ah, that's pretty hot. But actually, this is what you should be reading. Okay? You saw this? See that? Okay? Right here? Muscle Sport Mag. Okay? You like that t-shirt? You can get one for yourself. Go to musclesportmag.com. Don't be cheap. Nobody likes anybody cheap. Okay? MuscleSportMag.com. Lee Priest, that's my boy. Anyway, all right, about the magazine. Let me tell you something. As you all know, I used to write Ramblin' Freak for Brand X, but right now, I'm writing Ramblin' Freak stuff for Muscle Sport Mag. So if you really like my column, go back and read that. Almost 14 years with Brand X. Brand X. I'm not going to say their name. But, all right, look, we got that out of the way. All right, let's get into some the beginnings of training. I see guys coming into the gym with the magazines, with Schwarzenegger's book and stuff, like, oh, he says to do, you know, I should be doing like squats and this and that. You can't do that, okay, guys? Listen, the best thing I can do is tell you to start off is trial and error, because you got to find out what's right for you. We've all had that friend who's got the giant chest. I grew up with a kid who had this giant chest, and all he did was bench press. All right, bench press never built my chest. I mean, you know, for me, I like cable crossovers, flies, dips, you know, stuff like that. But bench press didn't do it. I got really strong. I actually won a bench show. Maybe I'll stick a video in here, you know, because I have it from 1986. But anyway, the thing is, that was right for him. For me, all that happened was I got huge triceps and big front delts. So benching didn't really hit my chest like flies did or cable crossovers or something. That's what's right for me. Because if Schwarzenegger had the answer, then you could go buy his book, follow his exact routine, and you would look just like Arnold. And that's not going to happen. One of the things we have to understand is the first step is we got to find out what's right for us, meaning you got to find out what's right for you. And the only way to do that is to go to the gym and try different exercises for each body part and then rate them. You know, I really felt this, but I didn't feel that. I didn't feel this one, but I did feel that one. You know what I mean? Sometimes you train with a partner and he loves this certain exercise and he's growing from it, and you see, oh man, look, he's getting jacked, and it's not hitting me like that, because that's what's right for him. Okay? So in that case, what you do is when he's doing a specific exercise, you say, listen, you do bench, I'll meet you over here, I'm going to do flies. Or you do squats, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to do leg press. Because not everybody's good at squatting. I sucked at squatting, but I had really good legs. That's only because I have narrow hips. Guys with wider hips are better squatters. So I did a lot of leg presses, like Lee Haney, like Paul DeMeo used to do hack squats. All right? If you have narrow hips, it seems to be that squats don't do you well. But you have to find out what's right for you. Same thing with strength. Strength is relative. Ronnie Coleman could go in T-bar row 450 pounds like it was nothing. Do 15 reps with it. For him, it's not heavy. For you, it's heavy. Okay? So you can't go by, you know, when you see these guys, and first of all, they're on steroids. We've already talked about that. But you can't go by what other guys do. You have to go what's right for you. And the strength thing, you need to be doing around 10 reps with stuff. Nobody can go in and do, like, get on a bench and do 3 or 4 reps with their heaviest weight. You're not going to grow like that. That's asinine. All right? That's ego shit. That's up here. All right? I mean, Serge Nubret, who had maybe one of the best chests ever, used to bench like 250, do it like 10 times and stuff. Okay? I have 2 friends. One both guys were real strong. One used to play with the New York Jets for a small period of time, Tommy Tucker, and another guy, my friend Ronnie, who was he was a cop, he was a chief of police, but he used to be a powerlifter. He won like the police Olympics. He would bench like 650 pounds. Tommy could only bench like 450 pounds. But Tommy could do, they both weighed around the same, which was like, I think it was 235, 240. Both of them one time had a bench contest. And they would take their body weight. The guy, Ronnie, who benched in the 600s, can only do his body weight, same body weight as Tommy, 235 pounds. All right, he can only do his body weight maybe like 18 times, whereas Tommy did his body weight like 30 times, 35 times. Who's stronger? Ronnie could do more for one rep, but Tommy could do his body weight almost double what Ronnie did. So the key to everything is find out what's right for you. Not what's right for Arnold, not what Ronnie Coleman did, not because Tom Platt squatted for big legs. That doesn't mean it's right for you. There's a lot of YouTube guys out there who are jacked. I mean, they're fucking huge, okay? There's a lot of, big bodybuilders out there, and they make these YouTube videos, and I listen to some of the stuff they're saying, and I'm like, holy shit. Where are they coming from? Let me explain something to you guys about working out, okay? You cannot go by some guy who's sitting there with 25-inch cannons, okay, on the internet, talking to you on YouTube, telling you, you gotta eat 10,000 calories a day, you gotta... That's because he's on steroids. And not only is he on steroids, he's on shit that I don't even know about. And I got locked up for selling that shit. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I want you to know the truth. You cannot do what Schwarzenegger did. You cannot do what Phil Heath did. You cannot do what Jay Cutler did. Okay? Just because you see one of these mutants sitting there eating like, a whole friggin' half a cow doesn't mean that's right for you. You gotta remember, if you're a guy who's a beginner, even if you just started taking steroids or whatever, you're looking at guys who've been taking it for 10 years. They're taking so much shit, they're taking boatloads. All right? You can eat pizza pie and friggin' Nestle's Crunch, and you can't get fat when you're taking so much shit and stuff that also helps to burn fat. So the point I'm trying to make to you at first is, part of expelling the myths is not listening to all these videos on YouTube. You're listening to a guy who doesn't work, sits around all day, lifts weights for 4 hours in the gym, takes more shit than God could create. All right? And he's going to tell you to eat a box of friggin' Fruity Pebbles or something, or whatever. You can't do that. Or to go and sit and eat like, you should be eating 10 pounds of like meat a day. Bullshit. Okay? That's all bullshit. What you need to do is we got to rewind. This is what we're going to do. We're going to rewind all the way back to the beginning. And we're going to tell you how to actually work out and how to actually get big, because it's a process. Everybody wants to get big quick. That's why you see a lot of these pro bodybuilders who were once huge, and you say, what the fuck happened to him? It's because they were all juice. All right? Now, I'm not anti-juice. I'm pro-juice. But you can't have a guy who is on steroids with 25-inch arms, who's been taking steroids for, like I said, for 10, 15 years, telling you how to get big. It's a totally different animal, all right? Especially if you're not on anything, all right? So if you're a young beginner, or you're even a guy who's just maybe started taking, I'm taking like 3D ball a day and a shot of test or whatever, you're in a different league than some guy who's, taking boatloads of stuff. You know what I mean? Taking maybe 10,000 milligrams of testosterone. You can't, let me tell you something. You take that much, when I was taking that much shit, I could eat pizza and never get fat. All right? So, let's rewind. We're going to come back. We're going to rewind, and we're going to go into, like, what really, how you should be training, and what's the real truth about all this, how you should be eating, what supplements you should be taking, and everything, because you can't listen to these YouTube sensations, all right? They're in a totally different realm than you are. You probably work or go to school or whatever. These guys sit around all day, You know what I mean? I think I'll go to the gym. You know what I mean? Let's hang out in the gym all day. You know, work it out. Yeah, you know, and all that shit. Okay? You don't live that type of lifestyle. It's not. You know, you got to make a living. So it's not feasible. All right? And you're not taking 10,000 milligrams of testosterone with growth hormone and everything else under the sun. Okay? Let's be realistic here. So let's rewind. We're going to come back with another video, watch it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how really to get started. Gregg Valentino here, Muscle Sport Mag. In the house, living a jacked life. Love the jacked life. You want to be jacked. You know you do. Watch the video.